So the new Futurama season is out if you aren't aware, and it's only had a few episodes so far, but based on that, the show was actually really good, pretty much picking up where the show had left off with its finale, which served as a great way for the show to continue on naturally, just waiting for them to pick it back up, ending with Fry asking Leela if she wants to go around again, which is how we're going to see these events. It also goes back to that other episode where they showed that time is on a constant loop in the world of Futurama and will repeat itself. I could see people not liking that they continued after what is probably one of the best endings to an animated sitcom ever, but they made the ending in a way where you know how it's going to end, but it allowed them to follow up the show without taking away from that ending and its impact, so I think that was very smart of them. There are, of course, jokes about them being rebooted in the first episode, which is what you should expect from Futurama, as they used to make fun of themselves being cancelled all the time, and them calling the show in the intro Hulu-rama, poking fun at that fact, which it looks like is going to be in every episode. And speaking of jokes, the show doesn't seem to have missed a beat. In fact, I think this season will be better than the previous few. While those seasons had great episodes, most of those last seasons started to feel hit or miss. The second episode showed that they could land a great payoff with these old storylines, giving hope that they might bring back other storylines over the course of however many seasons this new run has. This is a storyline that they explicitly said would take 20 years, and they followed up with it, and it worked well. I don't think it was as good as the episode that it was following on from, but it worked well as a sequel, keeping pretty much the same message as that episode had, and also adding new characters, which will probably pop up in other episodes. I'm hoping that they bring back the brains. I guess they kind of finished that plotline already, but this way everyone can see Fry's importance on the universe as they stopped wiping everyone's memories in the later seasons.
The big brain am winning again! I am the greatest! Mwah! Now I am leaving Earth for no reason!
The third episode was the weakest episode so far, but it was still enjoyable. I could see some people thinking that its subject matter was a little bit old, considering that the episode is about cryptocurrency, but since that shit is still around, I guess it's fine. Though if it had come out last year especially, it would have hit completely different. Not that it really critiques cryptocurrency or really crypto schemes in general, it's just that there was more news surrounding this topic last year. I did like that the episode took a literal approach and had them mining in the Old West, though we've heard these kind of jokes before, but I still found the episode to be fun. We also got to see a return from some classic side characters who hopefully make more appearances as the show goes on. One thing I find odd about this season, which works in other shows like The Simpsons by either retelling their origins or by not making obvious references to the current time, Futurama seems to be constantly referencing the fact that it's been 20 years since Fry was frozen and sent to the future, and yet they haven't aged up the characters at all. I know that you can live longer in the Futurama world. I mean, the professor is almost like 200 years old, but that doesn't mean people don't age. Most of the crew should be in their 50s by now, at least. But whatever, it's a little nitpicky, I know. But if you make constant references to the time, you're looking for people to point that fact out. But with Futurama being rebooted, not all the news is good. In fact, we've got some disappointing news, which is that Disenchantment is ending with its 5th season on Netflix, releasing at the start of September, which could be related to this reboot of Futurama, making it easier to focus on this project. Of course, they have huge studios to make these shows, but this will probably make it easier. There seems to be another loss for Netflix, though, which is just another day for them. Live-action shows seem to get 4 seasons, and animated shows get about 5 seasons, I guess. So a loss for Netflix, but sort of a win for Disney. I do wonder why Disney or Fox or whoever didn't want Disenchantment, or why they didn't offer it to them in the first place. I'm sure they would have taken it. I'm disappointed as a fan for what it is. They had Simpsons for the real world, Futurama for sci-fi, and then Disenchantment for fantasy, and it was also the one that had the darkest humour. Though it was the weakest of the 3 shows, it was refreshing to see them make something new and well made, most of which is still better than modern Simpsons and the later portions of those Futurama seasons. So I guess it's a good that they stopped making this show before it got really bad, and so the show won't share the same fate as The Simpsons. Personally, I'd prefer it though if a show goes until the show reaches a logical conclusion, or until there's nothing left for the show to say. I guess if this is a decision by the creators and not Netflix, then I'm fine with it. But that's what you should expect from Netflix. The real news is that we got a reboot that's actually good. So it gets to join the ranks of Beavis and Butthead, which most people seem to be enjoying. In fact, the movie that came out last year that catapulted the new season was one of the highest rated movies last year. It's surprising though, as this is under Disney, as every reboot remake that Disney has is fucking awful. I know that this is Hulu, but still, it are under Disney. I have hopes that the new King of the Hill reboot also goes well, which I've been rewatching recently. It really is better watching it as an adult than as a kid, because it makes way more sense when you're older seeing it. And so, seeing this kind of content as an adult would be refreshing to see. Rebooting this show will also bring back all of the animated shows that were on when I was a kid, with animation domination. It went King of the Hill, The Simpsons, Futurama, and then Family Guy. And over on Comedy Central you had South Park, all of which were on about the same time. Now, The Simpsons is a shell of its former self, and sitting through a current episode is akin to being waterboarded or watching your grandmother take a shower, which would probably be a worse form of torture, by the way, but still, you get the point. So there you go, it's nice to see a classic reboot of a show that's actually good, and I said you can watch it, so get out of here now, go and watch it.